welcome to episode 11 of Games Every Designer Should Play, the podcast that explores what aspiring and seasoned designers can learn from some of the greatest games of all time. I'm Stuart Lilford, the unstoppable tyrant of game design, and I'm joined by two blind, skinless lickers.
Lovely.
That's disgusting.
You are disgusting. Do they make that noise, lickers? They're more.
I'm not a licker, I'm a zombie. So
That's
you sound like a velociraptor.
Yeah. Velociraptors would have been a cool addition to the game we're about to discuss. In each episode, we'll be discussing one essential game and what we can learn from it. And at the end of the episode, one of us will reveal to the others the game we must play for the next episode. Will it be beloved by all, or could it be controversial? You'll have to listen all the way to the end to find out. And it is David's turn to choose today. Are there any clues that we can mull over? He's laughing because we literally guessed it before we pressed record.
I said it'd be easy to guess. I gave them one clue, which is a roguelike.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I knew what it was, and then Adrian had one guess,
and that was it. So yeah,
I named that game in one.
Can you do the same? Can you name a roguelike? Is it the one that David's thinking of? Who knows? But for this episode, the game we'll be discussing is Resident Evil 2 2019, also known as Resident Evil 2 Remake, although it was called that originally, but they've changed it. It's just Resident Evil 2. They dropped that, and it's just Resident Evil 2. Fair warning, this podcast is going to contain some spoilers for the game. You'll get more out of it if you haven't played Resident Evil 2 2019. Why not pause the episode and go and play it? We'll be talking about the game assuming that you have. But first, since this was Adrian's choice, we're going to have some notes on the game supplied by Adrian.
All right. Okay, so this is mostly from the wiki for it, but Resident Evil 2 is a 2019 survival horror game developed and published by Capcom. It's a remake of the 1998 game Resident Evil 2. This came out originally on PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox One, but it's come out on loads of stuff since, like Series S and X, PlayStation 5. There's also versions on iOS, iPad, Mac OS as well. In the game, players control the rookie police officer Leon S. Kennedy and the college student Claire Redfield as they attempt to escape Raccoon City during a zombie outbreak. The original Resident Evil 2 was released for the PlayStation in 1998, following the release of the 2002 remake of the first Resident Evil for the GameCube. Capcom considered a similar remake of Resident Evil 2, but series creator Shinji Mikami did not want to divert development away from the then in development Resident Evil 4. In August 2015, producer Yoshiaki Hirabayashi announced that the remake had been approved and was in active development. Hideki Kamiya, director of the original Resident Evil 2, said that he had pushed Capcom to create this remake for years. Hirabayashi said the team was striving to capture the spirit of the original game and that the team incorporated feedback received about Resident Evil 6, of which I imagine they got quite a lot, a game he also produced. Resident Evil 2 received universal acclaim for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions and generally favourable reviews. Open Critic reports that 97% of 205 critic reviews recommend the game, with critics praising its scariness, gameplay and faithfulness to the original. The consensus on the website states Resident Evil 2 is a gold standard for how to do a remake, combining the original's nostalgia with modernised and fresh gameplay to bring an awesome experience for players old and new. This may be the best Resident Evil game ever released. However, is it a game that every designer should play?
There it is.
What can we learn?
What can we learn from it? And what can we learn from it? So, can I just say something that because I've played this a lot.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Both the original and the remake. So I'm kind of more interested in this episode in hearing your experiences with it.
Yeah, because both me and David have completely... Are you new to Resident Evil series, David?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't played a Resident Evil game prior to
I've been with the Resident Evil series since the very first one on the PlayStation in 96, 97, I think it was 97. So I'm a Resident Evil veteran, should we say, and I've played every single one of the games, even some of the awful PlayStation 2 stuff and the dark years of 5 and 6 and things. I've been with it through thick and thin. So for me, this is, I know why this is great, but I'm curious as people who are coming at it fresh to the franchise, to the genre, because I don't think either of you play a lot of survival horror, do you?
No, I don't know why that is though. I don't think I've got like an aversion to it.
Does the forest count?
That's maybe it's more of a sort of kind of a bit. It's got elements.
Sandboxy.
Yeah, it's more sandboxy sort
Yeah.
of crafting sort of stuff in it. But
Yeah.
this is survival horrors where you've only got a limited amount of resources in the location itself. You can't
Yeah.
create new stuff. Although you can, you
can craft.
You can craft bullets and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in this, it's a case of, and you've always been able to do that, going back to mixing the herbs
Yeah.
and things like that. So it keeps it nice and simple. You know,
Yeah.
it's not a case of things going wrong.
Herbs and
stuff.
bullets. That's it.
Yeah.
And
Um,
occasional puzzle item.
So I'm probably going to take a bit more of a back seat in this one, even though it's my choice. I'll come
Yeah.
in and stuff, but I'm curious to see what you guys thought and what you took from it.
Okay. So I've got a few notes. I just want. Well, I will say I think I enjoyed it as a whole, and I think it's probably worth mentioning how far we got in it.
Yeah.
Because it's a game of. So basically, I did Leon's campaign first.
Mm-hmm.
So at the start you can choose, can't you?
Yes.
I chose to do Leon, and then I completed that, and then started Claire's part 2 one, but didn't finish it. I got like maybe 2 hours into that.
Okay.
And I didn't. It was like I wanted it, but I felt like I was. So like, you know, if you're eating a pizza and you're like, okay, I'm hungry for pizza. I'm going to eat this pepperoni pizza. It's a lovely 12-inch, and I'm going to eat it all, and I've really enjoyed that. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then someone goes, oh, here's a 10-inch pepperoni pizza, and you're like, right, well,
Yeah.
I'd like it. I would like to eat more of it.
I like a slice.
My heart and brain wants more, but my stomach is just full. I'll maybe have a slice of it. So that was my feelings towards, like, I wanted to do it, but I was just like, it was kind of it's slightly different, but more of the same. It was like it was like a salami.
I get it. I get
You
it.
know what I mean?
I'm more of a zombie because I'll just keep eating this without feeling.
You're a zombie.
Uh-huh.
Someone's gone, here's a brain,
And I'll
and
keep
you've
eating
eaten it,
and I'll eat. And there's another
"Here's
brain.
another brain."
I'll just keep eating
Yeah, you'll
this
just keep
game.
going.
So so for me, I played. I played Leon A, Claire B, Leon A. I went through all the 4 campaigns.
Yeah.
And I attempted the extra missions as well. So the hunk mission, the girl. I can't remember the one, the Sherry one. There's about 3 extra games as well, but they are rock hard,
Okay.
rock hard. And I didn't actually complete any of them. I kept getting killed.
All right.
So I played.
Wow. Full to the gills. Of
I am, yeah.
Resident Evil
I think
pizza.
I must have put in about sort of 40 hours, 45 hours into
yes.
this.
So I clocked in at, what did I say earlier? Like 19?
Right, something like that.
Yeah, nearly 20 hours. Which I think is
Yeah, it's plenty. That's plenty.
It's plenty.
Mm.
David, how did you fare?
Well, I was bought this game quite a while ago, probably during Halloween or something. I played up to the sort of sewer section, and I just kind of, I don't know if I got bored of it or if I just decided to put it down for a bit. I then had to go back and basically start right from the beginning because I left off at the like chess puzzle.
Oh yeah.
And I just I loaded the game and I was surrounded by these chess pieces. I couldn't remember the controls. I couldn't remember what I was doing. And I was like, I guess I'll just start again. And then I went through, I did Leon's section. I've seen I've seen Claire's section in like a playthrough. But I basically stopped at Leon's side, yeah.
So in terms of what things I picked up whilst playing it, I don't know. It's not really a negative comment or a critique, but it's just something that I wanted to talk about was the writing and the story and dialogue. Initially, because it's like. So it's very like B movie, but I think I mentioned this to you earlier, and you were like, "Well, that's the point of it, basically." And I think once I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's fair enough, actually." And I think I drew some. I was drawing comparisons whilst playing it to like other games from like Japanese developers. So I was like, there was like flares of Metal Gear Solid in this, and you know, like Metal Gear Solid where it's just really stupid and over the top in certain aspects.
Yeah.
I got that feeling from playing this in some bits, but like some of my favourites was just like early on where he's like Leon meets the police officer who's Marvin. Yeah, he's injured. And he's like, I won't leave without you. I'm giving you an order, rookie. And it's like the most cliched dialogue that you could think of. And a couple of other ones. This one really made me laugh, where the FBI agent, what's her name again? Ada. She's going, they made a virus that turns people into indestructible monsters. And Leon's response is, well, that explains the horrible things I've seen. I thought that was just really like, it just really made me laugh. Well, that explains the horrible things I've seen.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. But it just, and also the scene where Leon and Claire meet on opposite sides of the gate to the and the police helicopter's just crashed into the thing,
and they don't even...
and they're acting like they're not bothered. They're just having a bit of a flare almost. And then I thought that was just bizarre. And the FBI agent, when she's asked what's going on here, that information's classified. Like, it's just like if you could have a book of cliched phrases and stuff. So that was one thing that I picked up on, that I don't think it's really a criticism necessarily. It's just something that I noticed about the game.
I enjoyed it, to be honest.
I
quite like the stupid little clips you get when you're just fighting zombies and he's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. What the? Yeah. So there is all that in there, which I think it just kind of adds to it, and I think that B movie feel kind of sums up in terms of like the story, the plot, and the characters and the dialogue kind of sums it up. I think
I would love to see you go back and play the original and listen to the dialogue.
Is it worse?
Oh, it's so much worse. I mean, Resident Evil's always been well known for its terrible dialogue from the original Resident Evil, which there's loads of memes of, you're Mr. Jill Sandwich. She escapes out this room that's going to crush her.
Yeah.
And Barry's out there and he says, oh my God, Jill, you're almost a Jill Sandwich. or when he finds the lockpick and he goes, here, Jill, you have this. You're the master of unlocking. It's like, are you? When did you get that title? But yeah, the scripts have always been dreadful. This is actually quite a step up.
Right, yeah.
So,
But I mean, I think it was enjoyably bad.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You can't go into this expecting Last of Us.
I think part of me was, though.
No, you cannot.
Because I had no expectations.
Right, okay.
I was going in it. I think it looks so slick. I was expecting that quality everywhere. Yeah. And when the dialogue started happening and it wasn't that, I think it was a bit jarring for me initially, but then I think
you have to settle into it. Nonsense.
Yes.
Settle into the nonsense of like the police station being an old museum.
Yeah. Well, to be fair though, initially I was like, why is this police station got puzzles in? And then when they said it was an old art museum, I was like, do you know what? Actually, now that I know that, I can kind of almost lean into it.
But that's what I mean. It's a strange justification. Why would they set a police station up in there? I mean, these days it would be a Weatherspoons.
Probably just as difficult to navigate trying to find
the toilet.
Yeah, the toilet. Yeah. Oh, you need a heart-shaped key to get to the men's room in the Weatherspoons. Someone needs to make that a version of
setting a Weatherspoons.
Setting a Weatherspoons. You have to unlock all these doors to try and but you've got a time limit or you end up just messing yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
But you've got it is what it is. I mean, and it comes from a lineage of schlock horror, B movies, zombie movies, Romero style movies, which they've had, the dialogue in them has never been particularly the strong points of those things. So it draws its lineage from those, and it's not attempting to be like the Last of Us games is attempting to be these kind of dark, post-apocalyptic, similar kind of genre-ish.
It's drama, it's thriller.
Yeah, they're trying to be a bit more sort of characterful and stuff like that, and they go too far the other way in some sections, especially the second one, which is too long. This keeps it nice and tight. You're just moving around, and when the dialogue happens, it's not its strongest point. But it serves its purpose.
Yeah, and
that's what I'd say.
Like I'm not like I don't watch a lot of horror films, but when I do watch them, I think I get the enjoyment I get is like laughing at when something like really kind of like surprises you, and you kind of laugh at like, oh well, look at that guy, he's just had to have his head cut off, that kind of thing. And I think I got that from this, I think, as well.
I have some stuff to say. I don't know.
Go for it. Go.
So as a whole with the game, I enjoyed bits of it, but it's definitely not my kind of game. But I think it's interesting because the stuff that I don't like about it is what I think makes it a good game.
Right.
You don't like good games, is what you're saying.
No, so yeah, basically. No, there's aspects of it that are like, I can see why they're really strong and like why they make it a good sort of horror survival game, but they're the aspects that I don't enjoy about playing it.
So you're not a fan of sort of survival horror? I mean, that's fine.
I think so, yeah. So
you got to be in a certain frame of mind to
Yeah.
want to sort of experience the sort of feelings that this generates.
because like, I mean, I can understand why people would enjoy it, but I just felt stressed most of the time.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
And that's not an experience that some people don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a few different things. Like, I mean, you know, the ammunition and crafting stuff and having limited resources. Again, I understand that like it builds up tension, it builds up that sort of feeling of terror or whatever, and like you feel like you're constantly on the run. Like when you have the tyrant chasing after you, I found that so annoying. Because it's like he would show up and I'm like, all right, I can hear him like stomping about in the background. And the bit that annoyed me the most, I had to put the game down for a bit. It was the clock tower section.
Oh yeah.
So I'd done the library bit where you have to like slide the bookcases along. He was still following me, like jump down the ladder and stuff like that. That was fine, whatever. I'd gone through and I'd gone onto that like upper balcony section, and he was still following me this whole time. And then you have like what, 3 or 4 zombies on that section. I went into the watchtower. I was like, all right, I need the gears, the cogs or whatever. And then I could still hear him stomping around.
Yeah.
And it got a bit quieter, so I was like, all right, I'll go. I go out the door. I immediately get attacked by a zombie. I was like, all right, there's another one right next to me, so I'm gonna run past it. I immediately get punted in the back of the head by the tyrant. So then I start running, and I'm like, I look at the map and I'm like, okay, there's the storeroom here. I clearly need to get the gears or whatever from this. So I'm running along. There's another zombie along the way. I try to kill him, probably with a pistol, because I was trying to save my shotgun ammo. I get smacked in the back of the head again by the tyrant. I heal up because I had a ton of heals. I go into the storeroom, and then it's too damn dark. Can't see anything, and it's a maze.
Yeah.
And then I get attacked by another zombie as soon as I go through the door. And then I'm like running. I'm trying to run around, and I think I wasted a grenade on a zombie because I accidentally spammed. Yeah. And they're like, oh, that's fine because it hit the tyrant as well. And then I'm trying to go around, and I didn't have any defensive weapons left. And then he killed me, and then I'd lost like 20 minutes of progress. And just the combination of everything that happened there, because it's like with the tyrant, I understand that he's this like, he's this force that is coming after you, and you can shoot him and you can stun him for a little bit, but then it's like, oh, I'm wasting like valuable ammo on stunning him. And it just becomes this thing of like, oh, I can't kill him. I don't want to waste ammo on him. So then I'm trying to do it without like stunning him or whatever. And I think, what did I do in the end? I think I just like, I must have flashbanged him downstairs somewhere, and then I managed to go up and he wasn't following me and it was fine. Or maybe the pity system kicked in. But yeah, all of that stuff, I can see how that would be enjoyable to some people.
See now what you've described there. Those are those create those memorable moments from this game.
Yeah.
Like I had a couple of them where I was trying to run from the tyrant. I went into the room where there's like you can climb up and there's a window to get into the next corridor, and I was like, oh, he won't be able to follow me in there. So I went up and into there, and I was like, right, drop down, and there's 2 lickers in that space. I'm like, okay, if I'm quiet, I'll be all right. And then I turned around and he was there, and I was like, oh no, because like
now you need to run.
Now I need to run, and the lickers will hear me, and then
I think that bit in particular,
well.
it was just the combination of like I couldn't see anything. I was being attacked by a million things, and I got killed and lost like 20 minutes of progress, and I was just like.
But also,
I had to put it down for.
On the flip side, though, if you would have made it out of there, that would have been a you would have been like, whew,
I mean, yeah,
that kind of
but then that's another thing that I kind of want to talk about as well is the adaptive difficulty system that they have.
Yeah.
And again, I see how that is a good system because it keeps tension high. If you're starting to kind of miss shots, lose ammo, things like that, you're low on resources, low on health, then the game has a system that kind of it is basically a pity system. Where,
right, okay.
Like I looked into this after I played because
I didn't know about this. It sounds
I was getting kind of frustrated where I mean like you shoot zombies and every so often the head will explode and you're like, all right, I know they're permanently dead. This is good. They're not going to come back. There's no way that they're going to respawn or whatever. So like when I would down a zombie and they're just kind of lying on the ground and the head's not exploded, I'd be like, I kind of want you to be permanently dead, so I'm going to use some more ammo to try and explode your head.
Yeah,
I did as well, but then
told
like
me you have to hack the legs off.
Just hack them to bits with the knife. Have a knife at all times, and just get when someone falls down. Just...
But then that has durability as well.
It does, but you find enough of them to do it enough and to take them apart. And if you can,
I think I did that early in the game because I remember. I think I watched a playthrough of 4 or something, and it's quite a big thing using the knife in that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I think I started doing that at the beginning.
Yeah.
But again, it just kind of the fact that like you can shoot one zombie a million times in the head, and they just don't go down. And then like you're on low ammo and you shoot a zombie twice and the head instantly explodes. I found that quite annoying, because like.
But surely when it explodes, you're like, yes, that's like a moment of.
But then when I'm shooting the zombie that takes
side.
like 20 shots and he's still not permanently dead.
Yeah. Well, the pity system obviously felt that you had too much.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It punishes you for shooting well.
Or for conserving ammo.
Well, conserving ammo but shooting well. Like if you miss shots, then
because it wants to keep you. In a state of survival.
Survival. And I get that, but I don't enjoy it. Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, it goes back to Resident Evil 4, the 2004 version, which is when they first introduced that adaptive difficulty.
Okay. Did 2 originally have it then, the adaptive difficulty?
No, the original 1998, but no, it was first introduced in 2004 as Resident Evil 4.
Right.
So I think they've used it in the game since. I couldn't swear to it.
Yeah.
Because obviously since then, the mainline series has been 5, 6, 7, Village. So before this, I think there was 5, 6, 7, and I think then this was the next one. Then there was 2 and 3, and then Village, the remakes of 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So I think they've kept it in, and they've brought it back for this, or whatever. But yeah, it's the notion of keeping you on the edge.
Yeah.
They don't want it to be falling to being too easy. They don't want you having loads. For me, I don't have those problems because I can just sprint through it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I've not played it I played it a lot when it first came out. So it's sort of 4 or 5 years. But once I was through the opening section, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember it all. A few bits I couldn't remember and stuff like that. But then, sort of going through both playthroughs. But no, I think that's a fair comment.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I think it's a good system.
Yeah, I think more games should have this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Inscription, for example, really could have done with that.
Exactly. that was my point. But if you like, the game should know if you're struggling and help you.
Yeah.
Help you to get through and onwards.
Yeah. And I found it quite interesting because it's like at the beginning of the game you have 3 difficulty settings: assisted, normal, and hardcore or something.
Yeah.
And I looked into it. There's a ranking system of 1 to 9, I think. Assisted, you're in between 1 and 4 or something. Normal is like 4 to 7, and then hardcore is like 8 and 9. So you can only ever shift between these different like ranking systems, and depending on if you're like whiffing a load of shots or whatever, or you're on low ammo, you kind of get a bit of pity. Where you'll do more damage. The zombies will be less aggressive.
That's interesting.
And I think that's a really good system. I didn't enjoy it personally.
That's absolutely fair enough. And I was thinking when I picked the game, it's like it's a different game and it's aiming for different emotions in the player and a different state of where your enjoyment comes from in a game. And I knew that when I picked it, and I was thinking your enjoyment in this game comes from those moments you said, you either just get through, or I think for me, if I'd have got killed, I'd be like, oh, right, and I'd have just legged it through the next. It'd probably take me 5 minutes to get back to where I was.
Yeah.
Because I'm that kind of person. Like, right, I know exactly what went wrong there. I know where the zombies are, and I know to load my shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it's those on the fly choices you make to either, do I keep myself alive in the moment to fight longer, or I die.
Yeah. I think the next time I went through, because I probably had like I don't know if I picked up the next day because I was playing it late or something, but I knew what I had to do. Like I knew, I think I had the clover key. I had to go unlock that again. I had to kill the liquor, go and do all that stuff. But yeah, I think the second time through, I was just like, all right, I'm just going to use the shotgun and insta kill these zombies so that they're just not a problem.
Yeah, and I think what you touched on there with you were complaining about ammo scarcity basically, but I think what it does with that, having resource scarcity, is it just creates more player choice essentially, because you are in a situation where, right, ammo is scarce. I as a player need to make the decision when is the time to use it, when is the time to try and dodge.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed that because it's like when you get the high grade gunpowder and stuff. Yeah. It's like, right, do I save this so that I can make is it Magnum? Ammo?
Yeah. Or you can make shotgun.
Or you can make shotgun ammo. And I enjoyed those aspects. I really enjoyed getting like the different gun parts and stuff like that. I think I managed to like fully upgrade the Magnum, the shotgun, maybe the pistol as well.
Did you use the USB device twice?
Yeah,
that's the tricky one.
I almost missed that completely.
Yeah, that's
because
I did as
when I was coming back up
on the Claire playthrough. This on Claire Part 2. You can do that, and you get the silencer,
or something
for the machine gun. But I didn't get it on the playthrough with Leon.
It's an easy thing to miss because you don't think to, once you've used the USB stick.
Yeah, you think
the thing. But if you look at the icon, it hasn't got the
And I looked on the map, and I think in that what is it, Shield, or no, not Shield, the Stars office. I think the room might have still been red or something.
Yes.
And I took it out, and I was like, this is still all right. I'll store it. And
yeah, it doesn't have a. Well, this is one of the things I wanted to bring up actually, was just the small quality of life things this game does that just really kind of it benefits the player. So, for example, telling you when on the map a room is red if there are still resources in there for you to get, or the items. I'll have a red tick on it if it means there are no longer any uses for that.
That stuff is really helpful.
For keys or for things like that. So you're not carrying it around because the inventory space is limited. And even to the extent like the pity system. Just again, if you're low on ammo and there's enemies, it's doing little things to adjust your playthrough to kind of just support you in your decision making, essentially.
I mean, and another one, this is a Resident Evil staple, apart from Resident Evil 0, where they played around with it and it didn't work. But they make no sense, but the item boxes.
Yeah.
They make no sense.
They make no sense.
They make no sense because you put it in one box and you can go somewhere else and pull it out of another box. It's like these vacuum. It's like Sport Billy's bag.
Really
you put them in and it goes into this void. Which is all these item boxes are linked somehow.
It's got a tube system.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But as a player affordance, imagine having to go back to the one you put it back in.
So when I started playing, I thought that was the case, then got to the second save point and I was like, all my stuff's in this shed. So it's and then when I played through with the second one with Claire, I was just constantly piling stuff into the chests, like ammo that I might need for later, or items that I didn't have any use for immediately, and it was taking up slots in my inventory.
Because then it's like that you can then and we'll come to this when we get to level design. But okay, I'll talk about it in level design. But you carry on what you were saying about the little player affordances.
Yeah, well, that was essentially it. It's just like these little quality of life things it does with the map telling you, okay, well, if the room is blue, I don't need to spend any more time in that. I don't need to investigate that area. If it's red, then there's something there to uncover. And I thought it was really good. And then just telling you when items, you don't need this item anymore, you can get rid of it.
Also as well, and I don't know if they did this in the original. I don't think they did sort of thing. But when you check a door, it has the little symbol of what key it needs.
Yeah.
So you can again.
It tells you why. A locked door on the map. It tells you why it's locked. It's got a chain on it, or it's got a bolt, or whatever. Just those little things just really helps the experience, I think.
Did they originally have those like quality of life things?
In the original '98 version?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was thinking. They probably would.
So you could drop an item and.
No. They had. Well, sorry. No. The item boxes have been there since the first game. They've always had the.
No, I mean,
could
you discard an item?
You couldn't discard an item. I don't think so.
So you could only put it in your storage box.
I think so. Yeah, it might have. I think actually no. I think in the first one and first two, I haven't played them for a while. But I think what it does is when you use it for the last time,
it just gets rid of it.
It says you've used this now. Do you want to discard it?
Okay.
Right.
And then you can go yes or no. And then if you go yes, it just disappears out of your inventory. If you go no, it stays there.
Forever.
Yeah, and you go dump it back in an item box. I would always go put it back in the item box because I didn't trust the game.
There'll be another use for this.
There'll be a secret for this. And to be fair, I do that to now. My item box is full of items with red ticks on them. Unless I find something in the environment which I need to pick up and I need to get rid of something quickly.
Yeah.
But mostly I'll just go back to an item box and drop it back in.
Yeah. I think one thing I did really quite enjoy is the inventory and crafting system. The fact that you have the restricted slots and everything, and like
it makes so much of when you find an extra bag and you get 2 more slots, it's like
but it makes those like moment to moment sort of bits in the game more interesting. So like if you have a single herb or something, or you have 2 herbs in your inventory and you're like, I can combine these to clear up space or whatever, or you find a grenade and you're like, oh, I don't have any space. Do I consume a healing item to make some space for it? Is like the trade-off worth it?
That's the other thing it does. It tells you on the map what items are where. So if you've seen it, so if you did leave that grenade, for example, it would always be in your map. It's like, oh, I can go back and get that whenever. Yeah. So I think it's just stuff like that. And I like
those moment-to-moment gameplay bits were quite.
And the other good thing as well, when you pick up an item that you have. Like you have a green herb and there's a red herb, you can instantly combine it.
Yeah.
You don't have to give it a slot and then combine it. You can just put it straight in and combine it to the green immediately if you're full up. Same with bullets. You've obviously bullets can only, I think you can have so many in a slot. 60 or something like that or whatever. But then if you've got 20 and you pick up another 20 and you fill up, it'll just put them on top of it.
Yeah, and with the boards, the wooden boards that you can block up windows so they can stack up. Although, what I appreciated was that when you did have certain items, you would see it appear on the character model. So if you had like a flash grenade, for example, you'd be hanging off the belt. And when you did get new bags, they were added to the character model. I thought it was kind of reminded me of Batman Arkham Asylum when his kind of costume gets damaged over the course of the game. It's like you can just see the progression of this character, even in just like, oh, I've got a grenade hanging off my belt. It's almost like a reminder that it's there. I thought that was a nice touch. But you mentioned level design briefly. Is that something that we want to?
I think we should,
diving into?
Because I think it's one of the best elements. It's one of the best elements of this game. Because this game is what I would call, I don't know, how would you divide it? It's shallow but wide or narrow but deep? I can't work out which one it is, because I think it's a mostly one location.
Narrow but deep.
I would say, it's got a lot of depth to it, to its level design. It's quite small. And location-wise.
To come to that point where you were saying about you pick up items and things like that and player choice, this game has loads and loads of player choice in terms of risk and reward, and that's another really good and really strong element of this game, because a lot of the stuff you can go get is optional. So whether you solve the little puzzles, like whether you get the caps, the key,
the little
for the 2 and 3, and you can put one and you get the choice. You can have a look in them when you first get into that room, and you can see what's in the locked ones. And you think, right, if I put it in 2, I can open 3 of them, and then if I put it in 3, or if I put it in 3, I can open this. Which one do I put it in first? And then you find the last one really late, down in the sewers somewhere, I think it is.
Yeah, I can't remember. Well,
I think it's down in the sewers, and you have to go all the way back up, and you're thinking, and you know, it's a trek, and you've got to make that choice. Do I go back and open those last couple of things?
It was quite a relaxing walk, to be honest.
Yeah, because you killed everything.
Yeah, there was no tyrant chasing me.
And that's one of the good things about this game. Is like the game starts in terms of, well, I guess it's not quite level design yet, but the game starts in a sense of panic. And a sense of you being completely out of control, in the sense of this is a space which is completely hostile.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know what's going on. From the moment you survive the crash at the beginning, and you're legging it through the streets, and you get to the police station, and you get into the police station, and there's Marvin, and you go down the thing, and there's guys getting ripped in half, and there's people's jaws falling off, and this is a completely awful situation that you find yourself in. As you progress through the game, though, and that's what you said, it's a nice walk. You become the owner of this space, and that's a really good thing to do. And the game pulls it out from you 2 or 3 times when you go to a new location. So when you go down, you go into the sewers, which you wear like, I own the police station now, I can do what I want up there. But you go down into the sewers, and suddenly those monsters are, and you're like, oh, what the hell? Yeah. And it's this internecine, twining stuff of walkways and stairs and stuff.
But it's almost, in terms of pacing, it needed to have done that, I think.
Yeah.
So it's good that it does. It's obviously by the time you've become master of one environment, it just throws you into a new one, and the cycle starts again.
And then you go down there, and then you have to go back up for that bit of a rest, and like, do I go for it? There's probably some liquors still about, and you probably forgot, I normally do, even though I'm really good at the game. I'm like, I run through a room, and I go, I didn't kill the liquor, did I? Because I'm just running, I go, there's
that velociraptor again.
And I'm like, oh, damn it. But it does that because it plays on you, like, you go through those situations, and then it does it again when you find out and you get to the lab at the end. So it does that kind of rising you up as the powerful thing in the thing, and then dropping you back down, and you kind of like, and putting new elements and different challenges and struggles and different environments in the way for you. So I really like that pacing of putting you through that, and I think that's part and parcel of the level design with that. But we get onto the level design again.
I mean, I think just the choice of the environment. I mean, we said it seems nonsensical to put a police station, like retrofit a museum into a police station, but in terms of the environment it's created for you to explore, just really a very good choice, I think. Really, and kind of enjoyed exploring it, navigating it, and I think it's obviously I did draw comparisons between this and The Last of Us, in terms of kind of you're shooting zombies, it's a third person action adventure essentially, but the difference in terms of the environment is like The Last of Us, it's very spread out.
It's sprawling. It's a move. It's what I was saying about when I think I mentioned it in another game we played. I can't remember. I mentioned the sort of knowing an environment, being in an environment, and sort of going around it and exploring it and making it your own. It's like a lot of games just go forward.
And it's in The Last of Us, it's like you
never go back.
You never go back, and you don't get like intricate knowledge of the environment that you're in order to become like master of it, like you say. Whereas with this, you're in a building for a lot of the game, and the way that they loop the gameplay, and they kind of curtail your progression from stop you from getting into certain points too early, so that you kind of gradually unlock more of the space, or things that are blocked and you can then access it from the other side. It's all these kind of loops that kind of end up backing onto yourself. Just kind of really well done, but also from a developer's perspective, just having that one environment and that one, all these sets of models that the players like constantly kind of coming back and forth through, it's very efficient. So if you've made the model of this room in The Last of Us, the player goes through that room once, whereas in this game the player's back and forth maybe eight or nine, maybe more. And so it's from a developer perspective, it's just like more efficient use of assets almost. And this game really takes that to like the highest level possible, the way you navigate this space.
I mean, that goes back. It does go back to the original Resident Evil, which was set primarily in the Spencer Mansion, and then this game was, took it further with the police station. So this is again part and parcel of the original Resident Evil setting of the sort of design ethos, and it is it's kind of got that Metroidvania style. You get new stuff to open new stuff, to get new stuff, to open new stuff, to get new stuff, and it's that loop of the ever widening circles that you make from save points, and you then start to plot your way through them save point to save point. Like the camera room, the camera development room at the bottom of the stairs is a place you'll go through. You'll you go through the west office where all the offices. You'll go through that door. You'll run around the corner. You'll get into there, and you'll have a breather. Yeah. And it's like these kind of these moments of like,
especially where Mr. X is chasing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can go up to the second floor, or the first floor, and get into the stars room where you can have a breather. There's these pockets of calm where you can get to the clock tower room. We won't come in there, and you learn that as you play it, as you get through it. So I'm presuming the other thing as well is that if you didn't get very far you didn't play Claire's.
No.
And you didn't get very far in Claire's.
Couple of hours.
So did you get to the heart key and stuff and all that sort of section?
No, I know that there's a whole other story with the police chief that's a bit weird, isn't there?
Yeah, he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
And he's after. So you didn't do the whole Sherry.
No, I literally got up to the first fight with is it Dr. Birkin as Claire, where you see the girl
where he kills Mr. X.
No, it wasn't that bit. It was the fight. It was basically the same boss fight, the way you're running around and then the steam goes off and you can't see him. Literally killed him, and then that was
right,
it.
Yeah, because there's a little bit later on where Mr. X is chasing you, and you run into this elevator with Sherry, and he comes up and he's ripping the doors open, and then he just gets torn in half by Birkin. Right. And that's the end of Mr. X and Claire's mode. Sorry for spoilers. But...
So are these two narratives basically like separate timelines?
No. Yeah. Well, Claire's is supposedly the canon one.
Right.
Leon's is not. Claire's is. Because you get Sherry, and I can't remember, but there's something in Claire's which is what I think I did read something that is canon. I don't care. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, but the thing, because obviously the original, because there's just a quick story about the original Resident Evil 2. When it came out, I bought it because I was a massive Resident Evil fan. So I had it on the PlayStation. I took it home, and it was Friday, and I was like, oh great, I'm going to play this all weekend. It's brilliant, sort of thing. Saturday morning, I'd finished it. I'd finished Leon's. I was like, oh, you're kidding me. It took me about 5 hours.
Right.
And then it went, do you want to play Claire B? And I was like, oh, okay. But Claire B in the original interlocks into it a lot closer.
Yeah.
Right. The two things. And then you put in, and then it came on 2 discs, and I put in the other disc, and it was like Claire A, and it was a completely different campaign.
Yeah.
And I did actually play it all weekend, and it was amazing, because like going through all the campaigns and stuff and all the extra stuff, and then Leon's B fits into Claire A's a lot more closer. These feel like Claire's B is shorter than Leon's A, and if you do Claire A, it's a shorter campaign, but it doesn't fit quite as well. It's one of the things I would knock this for. The two campaigns don't interlock.
No, it almost feels like it's a separate timeline, because the puzzles you solve are the same that you would have done with Leon's.
Yeah, which don't make a lot of sense.
No.
In the original game on the PlayStation, you can find weapons and stuff and choose to leave them. If you pick them up, they're not there for Claire.
Ah.
Okay.
So you can like think
that makes
about
it more interesting.
Yeah. You've got more choice in that original game. There's certain bits you can do, and there's like you open doors and then Claire will find it open and stuff like that. So or Leon will. So it's a bit more interlocked. I haven't played it for quite a few years, but my memory is that it's a more interlocked narrative. This one, they either found it too tricky to really do that properly, for whatever reason, or I don't know. But that is it. So I do think that playing them both does give you the full story, because it does give you the full ending.
Yeah.
So neither of you have seen the proper full ending where you fight in the fully evolved version of Birkin on the train.
I've seen a video.
No.
Yeah.
He's just a massive blob with a giant eye in the middle, eating the train that you're trying to escape on.
Right.
So you get on the train at the end.
Yes.
And
you get the little sneak peek of it at the end of Leon's, don't you? Where it's like.
Yeah, you get that.
Yeah,
but this point, in the end of the second one, when you play through the full campaign, you actually have to destroy that and blow it up, and then you end up with them all walking off into the sunset.
Okay.
And Sherry saying she wants them to adopt her.
Oh, that's nice.
Who nobody just met. It's very strange.
Yeah, but very in keeping.
Yeah, very in keeping. So just come back to how that works with the level design. It doesn't quite pull it off in the Switch narratives.
It doesn't, but if you look at it as in it's two separate timelines, then it's fine almost, because I did play a bit of.
Are we talking two
Claire...
separate timelines in like Claire A and Leon A? I'm talking about Leon A, Claire B.
Yeah, well, Claire B, when I'm going through the police station essentially as Claire, and I'm solving the same puzzles that I did with Leon.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of was earlier. I was like, it felt a bit samey, but there were kind of sort of differences. So I feel like Mr. X was more of a presence when I was playing as Claire.
Yeah. He is.
And there was just a few, just the order in which you did things was maybe slightly tweaked, or maybe that was just how I played it through the second time.
And the sequence where you play as the other character is different, because there's a whole, if you're playing as Leon, because this is the other thing, isn't it, as well? So you at some point you play as another character. So so in Leon's campaign you play as Ada for a little while.
Yeah.
Where you which is actually quite a good sequence. That
she's got that weird little gizmo.
Yeah, so which is, and then again another sort of nice nod to sort of a variety and stuff. It gives you a completely different kind of way to look at it and play it.
Yeah.
And then you've got in Claire's, you play as Sherry. And Sherry gets kidnapped by Chief Irons, and you have to escape from this orphanage. And obviously, you're just a little girl.
Yeah.
And you end up throwing acid in his face, and he's coming after you. And you have to escape from it. And then, that's a really good sequence, because then at the end he captures her, and then William turns up and just kills him by implanting him with this sort of creature thing that then burst out of his stomach, alien style. It's that kind of game.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and then you go back to Claire, you find her, and then Mr. X is on your tail, and it's a really, really good sequence, because it just keeps the action going.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, I wanted to see it. I was just too full up.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
And I think it does that quite well in sort of mixing up those locations, and when it needs a bit of a lull, you kind of get these, you've panic sequences and stuff like that, and then it sort of calms down a little bit.
Yeah.
And it does that with how you explore the level as well.
Yeah, I just remembered, the bit where there's like the, what do you call it? You have those two rooms right next to each other with the reverse mirror.
Oh, yeah.
I'd gone in there, I'd done the stuff that I needed to. I started walking out, and I opened my map to like try and figure out where I needed to go, and I walked 2 feet forward, and he burst through the wall and scared the ever living.
From out the press conference room.
And it comes through the wall.
Yeah.
Does he?
Did that not happen to you?
No.
I thought that was quite good, because it gave you a shortcut.
Yeah, you could run into you could hop into the room. I hopped into the room, but I didn't have Mr. X there, I don't think.
I don't, not for the interrogation room. It's like once you leave the interrogation room.
Okay.
Like, and you're going back through the corridor, and he
he comes through.
Oh really? I didn't see that.
And you didn't, because obviously you didn't do it as Claire then, so you didn't see how the mirror gets smashed.
No.
Because you're in the other room. You get the heart key, and you need the heart key because you've got a heart key and a club key.
Yeah.
You don't get the club key in Claire's. So you go in the heart room, and you go in that one, and you turn around, and just as you're walking out, a liquor smashes through from the other room.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's why the window's smashed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
I mean,
so stuff like that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the rest of it doesn't make sense.
Because you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You're doing too many, like, it's quite quick as well. Like, you get in as Leon, you have to do quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Or before the helicopter explodes and you meet Claire.
Yes.
You're running as Claire, you just run around the corner, and Leon's you've done loads really quickly.
Yeah, it was a bit like that. But yeah, in terms of level design, very elegant, very kind of well, it was like very interwoven and looping and well crafted.
Yeah, lots of dead ends, lots of sort of lots of foreshadowing of you'll come through here, but this door is locked. It's locked from the other side. It's Dark Souls things, isn't it? This portal doesn't open from this side.
I was thinking, like,
open from
in terms of the level design, it is kind of similar to Dark Souls, where you've got intertwining like vertical.
Yeah. And also, we talked about bi-directional gameplay, I think, in Thank Goodness You're Here, but because I think backtracking to a player, that word, it always has kind of negative connotations to it. But this game manages to kind of like, I think because the zombies don't die permanently, there's always like, okay, he's moved. He was down there when I left it, and now he's moved. He's not there. Where is he? Or there's like people smash through the windows, or maybe Mr. X is there, or maybe there's a licker there now where that wasn't there before. That kind of thing that they do to kind of keep things fresh.
Yeah, and there's always the thing as well, like there's the ways you can like keeping quiet for the lickers. There's that, and there's the choice. Like I said, the player choices. There's more windows smashed than there are boards.
Yes.
Yeah.
So which windows do I think are going to be the ones where they're going to come in from? It's like in an office, or there's the one at the end of the corridor with the photo room.
Oh yeah.
But then he bangs on it, and then there's two lickers in there.
Right.
And him banging on it brings the lickers. It did in my experience, because I was creeping down there, and then the zombie goes, oh, smacks on the door, and behind me, and I'm like, oh, he's brought the lickers. So that was it the right choice? Or maybe I should just let him in and shoot him earlier on.
Well, this is it. I think, I think that's a cool thing where it's you're doing certain things in the game, and there's like consequences of things that you're
your
doing.
choices have impact.
Yes, your choices have impact, which is something.
And the environment is not always under your control. It's not just the environment itself is a character within it doing things that are affecting the things that affect you, and you're like, oh crap.
One of the things. The other thing, so the level design is great. I think we can all agree there.
Yes.
But I think one of the things it felt to me, and I don't really know how if there's a word that describes this, but basically it feels as though they watched playtesters playing the game, and when they would do certain things that they knew that most players would try and do, they would almost do something in response to that.
Right.
So like the one example is when you're in the lab towards the end and you get into, it's like a canteen space, and there's about 15 bodies around, and you're thinking, oh crap, if they get up, I need to get out of here. So then you start to pass through, and then I think they start to make me think, right, well, I'm just going to bugger off down this corridor. You start going, and then all of a sudden a licker drops down from the vent in front of you, and you're like, behind me, I've got all these chasing after me, and now I've got this in front of me. So it's almost like they knew you were going to do that.
Oh yeah, you're in the sorry, this
the
is
lab.
Just before the freeze where you're trying to freeze the thing. You're in that bit. Sorry, I thought you were in the first lab just in the opening part, because there's not the lab. So I was on about the cafe. I was thinking
in the lab.
Oh yeah, so they're all off to the left, all just laid down.
Yeah.
And you've got to go in there, because again, there's that sort of mini game device.
Yeah, that
thing.
weird little
the oscillator thing. So you're thinking, I want to go in there because that turns the lights on, because you need the lights on to get in, in the door open and things. So you've got to go do it.
Yeah,
you just got to go do it. It does that thing about. You put something in front of you which you don't want to do. I don't want to go in there. This is the great thing about horror games. Horror games are great at you're gonna have to go in there. Yeah. You got to go in and you got to face it.
Yeah. And the other thing I liked was when you would go into a room, you dodge a few zombies, you'd go into a room thinking, right, I'm okay in here, and then the door starts banging. And then they come in. And then I was like, what? That's cool. I thought that was really cool, especially in rooms where you think it's safe. Like the room with all the different kind of the lockers where you've got to input a code to open them, and the keys are missing that you mentioned earlier.
Oh, the key, the keyboard keys.
I thought that was a safe space, and it isn't.
No, it's not. No, Mr. X will follow you in there, follow you around the lockers, running. Just we were talking earlier on as well. Just a funny moment. Again, these kind of moments that just kind of happen out of nowhere. I was going into the library room from the room with the statue, from the back end. And I couldn't hear anything, so Mr. X had wandered off, and I thought he'd gone. He'd gone. So I'll go just walk through the door, but he stood on the stairs to the right, directly to the right of the thing, and I'm clear, and I just walk through the stairs, and he just reacts and just smacks me right across the face from the side. And it would have taken Claire's face off. He's just like, I just walked through, and obviously it's just from the left. I'm like, off on the right, sorry. And I'm like, good Lord. It's just those moments.
I had a moment like that in the library where I was going, I think he'd followed me through in the same way that you just talked about, in that same door. And I was like, right, I'm going to go up the ladder, and he's going to have to go up the stairs. Up around, and I was like, right, I'll wait a little bit. I'll wait for him to to start going up,
go back down.
and then I started going back down the ladder, and he's just stood. He's just stood looking at me as I'm going down the ladder.
I saw him
like,
climb the ladder.
Yeah, he did.
He will.
And
he will.
Because like he was just stood, and I was like, oh. And I started running back up the ladder, and then I was just kind of looking down at him, and then I saw him move and then start climbing up the ladder, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize he could do that.
Yeah.
Because he like jumps. I knew he could jump off the
He'll
top.
jump down. Yeah.
Because I was doing the shelf thing, and I was like, I feel like there's a 50-50 chance he can't go down that ladder, or he's just gonna,
jump.
Yeah, and I was like, I'll commit to it, and
I like the way as well that he will just batter zombies out of the way as well. He'll just knock them aside. They're like, oh.
But I think that the fact that he's indestructible, that it really kind of creates that cat and mouse gameplay where you're the mouse, but you know the environment and you can get through all these nooks and crannies.
Yeah.
And he's this big monstrous cat, just kind of indestructible coming at you.
Almost Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. Did you? What the other thing that happened to me was with when we're talking about Mr. X was the final fight against him where he takes his trench coat.
Well, I was going to say, but just before we sort of get to that, maybe we'll get to that. But do you want to talk about the bosses? Because I think the bosses are the boss fights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of wanted to see what you thought about the boss fights and how you found them.
I mostly enjoyed them.
Yeah, I thought,
apart from the last
I don't have anything negative to say about them.
Because the way
not off the top of my head.
Because the odd thing, the thing which always gets me with Resident Evil bosses is they'll be running around, and you'll be firing everything into them, and they'll get knocked back, or they'll come around and they'll fire, and then you'll hit them with a pistol, and then they'll suddenly explode because there's no health bar or anything. So
So you don't know.
There's no visual
what's gonna
cue to them. Some of them do. Some of them are better than others in having visual cues where they'll be sort of falling around.
I was going to say some of them like you'll shoot the different eyes and they'll explode, and you have like a rough idea.
Yeah, you can get them, but sometimes you don't even have to. You can just pump them. If you had 1,000 bullets, you could just pump them with that, and they would eventually die when you wouldn't hit them. And I find. And that's the thing with all Resident Evil games is that the bosses are just these things, these bullet sponges, until you get the behind the scenes the health equals 0.
Yeah. I guess there could be more of a visual representation, but I think I don't know. It's almost the fact that you don't know, like you said, the feeling that they're trying to give you is that constant stressed out feeling. Like, how many more bullets do I need to put into this guy? You just don't know.
You put one bullet into its shin, and it's like because you've missed sort of thing, and it's like suddenly that was I hit his weak shin, and that suddenly cuts to the cutscene and going
or his knee. Birkin's. Well, I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds like he's going my knee like that. I don't know what he's saying, but I thought the boss fights were okay. Although, like you said, the final fight with Mr. X. Right, so the thing is with that, the game has told you throughout he can't shoot, he's indestructible, and then you're on this platform with him, and he loses his trench coat, and he's got like almost burn damage to him on
his arms on fire.
Yeah, his arm. Yeah, and you can see his beating heart or something like that. So in my head, I was like, right now he's got a weakness. If I aim for that, I'll kill him. And it took me. I was so many attempts with trying to fill him with bullets, shooting his arm, shooting at his heart. Wait, he's about to charge up, shoot him when he does that, and it knocks him back. And just constantly like lost all my ammo or lost all my health because I didn't have any health kits or anything like that, and I was really stuck. And then the game's like, do you want to try playing it on easy mode?
Oh, did it actually?
Yeah. To that, because I was just kept restarting constantly. So initially I was like, no, I don't want to try it on easy mode. I'm going to do this on. I played it on normal, and then eventually I was like, yeah, fine, whatever. I'll play it on easy mode, and then I still couldn't do it, and so. I ended up Googling it. I was like, how would you defeat it? Right. And it just talked about dodging it and everything. And then I read a comment online that said something like, you just got to wait out. It's to do with the time limit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, right. Yeah. So basically.
Yeah, because then Ada throws you the rocket launcher.
Yeah, you have to. It's timed. So you just have to wait it out until she throws you that, and then you take him out straight away.
I got an achievement that said that you'd complete it with 5+ minutes spared or whatever.
I don't know, but As soon as I read that comment, I did it first time.
Right.
Because instead of trying to shoot him constantly, I was just focused on dodging him and waiting the time out. And I only shot him when he was about to charge because you can't. If he does that,
I'm not sure if there is a way, if you do enough damage to him, that the rocket launcher gets thrown earlier. I think it will do it.
I think if you damage him, that might happen. But as soon as I just waited it out and just focused on dodging, focused on just shooting him when he's about to charge, first time. Also, I restarted from an earlier.
Isn't that 5 minutes to? Isn't that the countdown?
Yeah.
So the countdown for the self-destruct.
Yeah.
It depends how fast you got to that bit.
Yeah.
Right. I had 7 minutes like at the beginning of the fight.
Yeah, I think it's how fast. You don't have to wait for long. It is only a couple of minutes, but I think it's how.
It is because once I beat him, I got the achievement because I had like an extra 5 minutes. Oh, I had over 5 minutes until the explosion.
Yeah. I had a lot less than that thing.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you can. It's if you've not got that, because once the countdown starts, if you're mucking around up top and you're a bit lost and you're thinking that and you get down, then you've got the fight. If you're under 5 minutes, so it's not your fight with him. It's if you've legged it down there quick enough and got
because every time I restarted the fight, I had like 7 minutes left.
Yeah. So
when I beat him, presumably it was like
probably 5:05 or something.
Yeah.
So you probably only takes. I think you only got to last maybe a couple of minutes doing that.
Right.
Off the top of my head, but it's how fast you got to the fight with him.
Okay.
If you take your time getting down to the fight, because the other thing with that bit as well is it happens in the original. I mean, Mr. X isn't a thing in the original, but you're fighting Birkin, I think, or you're fighting this other creature. You sort of chased by this other creature in the original, and Ada just appears and throws you the rocket launcher. It's always been one of those moments in the game. It's like you fell into death.
Yeah. How are you alive?
Yeah.
She fell for how many feet?
Yeah, for a lot.
A lot.
So it's like, yeah. So
didn't even see the ground.
So it does break its rules a little bit with that fight because it is a timer thing. And that's what I wanted to talk about. It's like kind of like I don't think it telegraphs it very well.
No, I mean to be fair though,
I enjoy it.
It spent the whole game telling you he's indestructible. So I don't know why I was then thinking. I think it was just the visuals of seeing his,
exactly. Yeah.
If he still had his trench coat on, I think I'd have been like, oh, I can't.
Yeah,
indestructible.
I mean, his heart was like pulsing.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff.
I think I read that as he's weak.
So the visual iconography, like something big and glowing, is a weak spot.
Exactly.
That one attack just annoyed me. So I
only
died.
Attack?
Yeah, I died to it twice, but it was still.
I wish I died to it twice.
Because like,
which one's that? I don't think I died.
Mr. X, when you're on the lift,
he roars or whatever.
Yeah, and then he charges, and if he gets to you, and he can't dodge it really, and he's got his big claw arm, he impales you, and it's an instant kill.
Oh, right, I've never seen that.
Because like,
yeah, I saw it multiple times.
Because I'm
just really good at the game.
I had issues with staggering him like previously. Like I would shoot him in the face with a shotgun like 2 or 3 times, and he would still not stagger. So when he was doing this like big charging attack, I was like, all right, I need to dodge this. But then he perfectly like turns round to hit you with it.
You have to.
So I was like,
he's running.
It's a weak. I agree. It's a weak fight.
That's probably the one I would complain about.
The other two I enjoyed those because like you have the clear indicators. You're shooting the eyes, they explode.
Yeah.
And like it felt okay.
What about the one on the where you've got to swing the crate into Birkin?
That was fine. That.
Yeah, I mean, I did it. I got it, but I was like, the fact that you had to do it twice, I didn't like.
Yeah.
But you had to do it twice.
I had to do it twice.
You don't have to do it twice. If you get him stunned, and then you hit him, he'll go off for first go. So you can do if you do enough damage, and he's so basically.
So I stunned him and then swung it around, but by the time it got there, it stood up and he was all right. So that's that. So
I think I got lucky
what you want to do is basically, if you think you've got a magnum shot or something that can stun him, start bringing it round, then turn, shoot him, and then he'll go down. And by the time that comes around, he won't be up. And
so again, when's this telegraphed to the player? You've just got to figure it out, have you?
You have. I mean, you do.
It doesn't tell you this information.
But I mean, Yeah, but I think there's a visual that I wouldn't say is so bad because the visual cue is there that he's knocked down. He can't. He's not in a state.
Yeah,
of
but
being
I
able
also
to-
like whether he's stunned or not. I've hit him with a shipping container.
Yeah, but he pushes it back and climbs. You know, he's strong. He's big. He's big and strong.
I think I got lucky on
Big
that.
and strong.
So I ran straight to the button that I saw. I pressed it. Nothing was happening. And I realized I was on this like tiny little platform. So I was like, all right, I'll stun him. And then I realized, oh, wait, there were 2 buttons. I went back, I pressed it, and then it just knocked him off. And that was that.
Basically, I mean, because the fight is it's a callback to a fight in Code Veronica. So in Code Veronica, you fight, you escape from the island and you're on this plane. Sorry for spoilers, but it's a mid bit boss. But everyone knows about this bit in Code Veronica where you're fighting this tyrant, this thing on this plane, and you're in the back of this sort of plane, and it's just a tube. It's kind of one of those transport planes, and you're clear, and it's a it's a Dreamcast game. You can't dodge or anything. You've got minimal space, loads less space than you have in this.
Yeah.
And this big thing is just coming at you, it's just slashing at you. And at the front there's a piece of there's a heavy crate, and you've got to get that and push it back onto him, and that knocks him off the back of the plane. But you've got to weaken him enough to have
So
him
that he can't push it
do
back.
because otherwise he'll just and then push it back. Yeah, and you push it back, and you have to wait. And the thing is as well, it's like system engaging for a minute or so. You're like, oh God's sake. And you've got no idea that this is coming, and you've got so little ammo. Code Veronica has loads of these sort of choke points. And it's a callback to, I think, to that, but it's done better.
Yeah.
It's done better.
Yeah.
I think the other fights are fine. So you got Leon, didn't you? So you wouldn't have had the Claire fight with William Birkin where you get the Gatling gun.
No.
And things like that. So that's what I mean. So there's all these other different fights.
Yeah,
and stuff.
there's a whole. It sounds like there's a whole other game.
Yeah, a whole load
Still
of fights and stuff that you have to do, which are all very good fun. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the boss fights and see where.
I mean, they were.
I mean, and the designs were really cool as well.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the idea of Mr. X, the fact that he's just this indestructible thing that just walks,
Weird,
stomps around, and you can hear him stomping around.
Yeah.
It's like being at home when my kids are upstairs.
Yeah, and they do mix them up as well, and locations wise, because like the first time you fight Birkin, you're in that maze of
and
steam and
the
stuff,
steam
and you don't
comes
really
out,
go.
yeah.
Then you're in this cut of confined space. Then it's just a big open area with loads of items dotted around. I don't know who went round and put all those items in that lab in that space.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
I'm very grateful for them.
There are a few times where I just find like a grenade. I'm like, you got a grenade in like a gun store or whatever.
Yeah,
and
if
just,
you've got 3 grenades, you can take them out quite
Yeah.
quickly. The other thing I just wanted to talk about as well, in terms of the actual pacing of the game, as noobs to the sort of the game itself, most Resident Evil games end in a lab.
Okay.
They always end in a lab section.
Is it an umbrella?
It's usually Umbrella or it's whatever. I mean, Resident Evil 4 even has a lab section. The first Resident Evil does, 2 does. I'm not sure if 3 does. I can't remember, but probably. I don't think it does. But the actual sort of progression of the game, this one of the criticisms that I read about it is that it's heavily front loaded in its quality. The end is good, but it's not as good.
The police station is definitely the crown jewel.
So if you're
terms
gonna
of environments in this game, but I think it switches it up. Yeah, you've got the sewers and then the lab, but I didn't really feel this, but thinking back on it, the police station is definitely like kind of it's the favoured location of the 3.
Yes.
The lab was a lot slower pace. So I felt I felt calm when I was going through the lab section because I was like, there's no like tyrant chasing me.
Well, yeah, I think
one,
this is it.
One section.
Like what you were saying earlier about you become master of that area. You know it intimately. I think you don't really get that as much with the other 2 environments. There's no reason.
You do with I did with the sewers. The sewers I do once I've taken everything out. I mean, and you can I need to go up here because the sewers is a proper maze with because you especially opening those doors with the thing.
Yeah.
And again, that's another one where you can't go back up because the door when you go down to the sewers for the first time, the door shuts behind you in the foyer
Yeah.
to the police station, and you can't go back up until you've got the special key, lock the crank thing.
That annoyed me because I got to that bit and I was like, "There's a crank here. Do I need that from the shower?" So I loaded my save. That was
no, different shape. The only other thing I just wanted to sort of get opinion on as well, and what you think about these kind of sequences in general, the alligator sequence.
very cheesy, but I enjoyed it.
It was, it was like a different bit, and then obviously right at the end you've got this kind of pipe that you're supposed to shoot, and it blows it.
Yeah, because in the original it's wandering about.
Right.
It's not a set
right.
piece like that.
Okay.
You go down to
so is it more like Mr. X?
It's kind of you go down to this. It's a very quick sequence.
Yeah.
It kind of comes in, and it's very easy to do in the original because it's obviously PlayStation styles. But you run down this corridor, it's wandering about, and then there's these pipes. That thing, this sort of the thing what blows up Jaws in Jaws.
Yeah.
One of them, you knock it on the floor, and you run away, and it comes in, it goes it bites it, and then you shoot it, and it blows up. But it's not an interactive cut scene so much as it's just part of the game.
Yeah.
It's just a short sequence in the game. So I was wondering, when I did that bit again, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember this bit. I think it's a bit of a, I don't know.
Cop out.
Yeah.
Well, what you described from the first game sounds cooler.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been cooler because you see it, don't you? First thing you see it go past
Yeah,
past
just
the
that
grate in the
massive,
back,
yeah.
and you're like, what is that? And I think it would have been better if they could have actually featured that as a more, this is a thing that's stalking these corridors, and you've got to kind of figure out a way to lure it into getting this thing, and then finding a place to blow it, like they do in the first game. And that would have been really cool.
That does sound cooler, but
it's Uncharted.
It's a bit.
It happens a bit too
into the
quick.
screen.
Happens too quick as well. Like you don't get to build the tension of like there's this massive thing going
it's
through
like
the sewers.
those Crash Bandicoot levels where you're running towards.
It's a very Naughty Dog
Yeah.
thing. I think Naughty Dog were maybe probably the first to do those kind of things in Crash Bandicoot.
Maybe.
Running into this camera.
So you can't
in
see
3D.
what's in front of you, but it's more.
Yeah. It looked cool, but gameplay wise, it was.
It was meh.
Yeah, to me it feels out of place in the game because there's no other scene.
Yeah,
there's nothing else like that.
is there?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see what you mean. It would. I think it would have fit more. But then, I don't know. Maybe they had that at one point and decided to cut it for some reason.
Maybe. And just the final thing was the opening
in the
gas station.
Yeah.
Because I think the gas station opening is not in the original.
Yeah.
Basically, that you start off in the original, it's all cutscene.
Yeah.
And the trucker getting bit and everything, and that sort of the thing. I think that opening sequence to this is absolute genius. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it is good. It's a very good introduction to what this game is.
Because within a little convenience gas store they create a maze.
Yeah.
They create this zombies falling down, and you got to come around the back.
And you've got no ammo. And,
you kind of introduces all the elements that you're going to get in this game, which is this kind of, like you said, these interlocked. Because you go in, that's locked. You find the guy, you go in the back, and you got to find a key. And you got this panic moment. You got to get out, and then there's zombies pushing through, and you got to run around in a direction you wouldn't expect. You just want to go for the door, but you can't
you're
do
trying
that.
to avoid stuff, so you're going around the other way. But they know you're going to try and avoid it, and so they've put little surprises on the way. It's good.
It's a great intro sequence, and that's one of the things that I really love about this game is that they changed it from the original, introduced these cool sequences, but still kept those sequences. Thing, and I just wanted to sort of bring this quote up about what the producer Tsuyoshi Kanda said about. It says, "Acknowledge the difficulty of making zombies seem scary and threatening because they've become ubiquitous in entertainment media since the release of the original Resident Evil. By removing the fixed camera angles, the team had to use different ways to conceal enemies using elements such as room layout, lighting, and smoke." And you mentioned that sort of thing with the tyrant and stuff. Yeah. But I think that's really sort of thinking about how do you create tension. How do you create different layouts? Yeah. Like when you first go into that the darkened right hand corridor, and they just sort of loom. You get the flooded one. You first get the torch out, and you can't see stuff, and there's something comes in, or you go into the room, or on the floor, and you don't see him get up, or you can't quite get the full field of vision of a room sometimes. because obviously with the original they had the fixed camera angles and stuff, which obviously this does away with. So it's always one of the things to take away is if you're creating something where you want to keep the player on edge, it's like how do you do that? And this game I think is an excellent masterclass in that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think in terms of what we've discussed, in terms of what it does well, how it offers choice to the player, or how it makes player choice kind of important, with the ammo scarcity, or with which way you're going to go, because some of these doors are locked, and making or do I deal with this group of zombies, or do I just skate around them? All these which I need these 2 items, which one am I going to go for? And I think that kind of giving that power to the player within the game is quite effective in this game.
Yeah, and its sense of pacing as well, that kind of open design, that kind of the open go where you want kind of design. That then you've got a goal. So your goal is to get to this room or to get to this thing, and so how do I get to that? You're free to kind of sort of explore and do as you want within the sort of what you've got open. And then when you generally get to that goal point, there'll be a sort of choke point of an action scene or something, something that sort of ramps the tension up, or Mr. X will power through the door, the wall or something else, a boss will turn up and you didn't expect.
It's a perfect blend of linear and non-linear.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got some feedback?
Yes.
We didn't get any feedback on this game specifically, but we've just had there's some general things. We had a really nice comment actually on one of the YouTube on the Oberdin episode. I think this was from 509. This podcast is an absolute gem for anyone who loves game design. I've listened to the previous episodes at least 10 times, and I find something new to appreciate each time. The insights, the discussion, the passion, everything about this is just top tier. Please never stop making these. I recommend with both hands. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Really nice. It's nice receiving feedback like that. And it feels like there's just the 3 of us chatting about game design, but people are actually seem to enjoy it, which is nice to hear. We also got a kind of a game suggestion, I think, from a name. I'm sorry I'm gonna butcher this, but it's like Wojciech Karolczak.
Okay.
You were really good with the Japanese name pronunciations, actually.
I was, wasn't
But
this one here at the top.
Let's have a look. Wojciech Karolczak.
Yeah, that's probably better than what I
found it better.
to.
Yeah.
Hey, the whole discussion about intrinsic and extrinsic goals in Subnautica reminded me of Outer Wilds, which I personally really enjoyed, and I think could be a good game to look at. I'm pretty sure someone else has suggested this in the past. Have you played Outer Wilds?
Yeah, it is.
I'm halfway through it.
Oh, right, okay, interesting. I do think it does the intrinsic goals really well. Not to spoil too much, as spoilers should really be avoided for that game. The devs call it a curiosity-driven exploration. The game also does a lot of stuff well, mainly the world design, helping the player track their progress and so on. It's one of those I wish I could erase my memories and play it again types of games.
Definitely.
So thanks for the suggestion.
Let's just say that game is probably on the list.
Yeah, it's on there, so we'll probably get to it at some point. And then I put a post on YouTube saying, let's settle this once and for all. Is Portal a first-person shooter? Yes or no? We had 27 votes and 67% said no. So I think we can safely put that to bed.
I disagree.
Okay, so the verdict then. Is this a game every designer should play?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say yes for the reasons we've said, the level design, and the way that they use pacing in all the different ways that they do that, the player choice, and just the
player affordances.
The little kind of quality of life things that just really kind of help the game.
Yeah. One just last thing as well that I quite liked is how they have all of like the concept art and the models and stuff that you can unlock through different.
Yeah, you unlock every time you
right,
load the game. It's like you unlocked all this stuff the last time you played. Oh, great.
Yeah,
it's like nice little things. I think the Batman Arkham games do that as well.
Yeah.
You unlock stuff a lot as you're playing through.
Yep.
Great title screens. Yeah,
and you press it like. Yeah. Very kind of ominous.
So I think people that was, if I can just digress slightly around that sort of thing. If there's one thing that I think students can take from this game, it's that opening. Just look at the title screen on this, and when you make your game, think about your first impression to a player. It is the title screen. If it looks Unity buttons, then it's like, oh, you've not put any effort in.
On the flip side of that, if you are a student listening to this, you don't always need a main menu in your game necessarily. You can just launch. Yeah,
you can, but if you're going to have a main menu,
if you're going to have it, do it properly.
Do it properly.
Don't just have the Unity basic
unit
grey
button,
boxes.
an Arial font.
Yeah, because I think the Witness, you can when you launch that, it just starts the game, and I was like, this is so refreshing. Because, I get why games have a front end, but they're not always necessary, especially with student games where you've just made Space Invaders. You don't need to make a front end with options and a credit sequence and all this. You've just made a rudimentary. Just have the game start. Anyway. Because that's the time you spent making that could have been time you make the game player. Anyway, that brings us on to the next game.
Yes.
Where it's the end of the episode. David is going to announce to us the game that we'll be talking about in the next episode. And at this point, we would normally have some speculation about what we think it might be.
Well, what else could it have been?
Well, you said it was a roguelike, so it could have been something like Slay the Spire, but we've kind of covered card-based roguelike.
Could have been Spelunky.
Could have been Spelunky.
Could have been Enter the Gungeon.
Could have been
Rogue Legacy.
Is Into the Breach a roguelike? I suppose it is kind of.
Maybe.
It is, yeah. I think I'd say Into the Breach. Could have been that.
FTL.
FTL. Could have been FTL. We're just naming roguelikes at this point.
But it's none of them, is it?
No. It is The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, or depending on how much money you want to put into it, Afterbirth Plus. That is the game that I've picked this time around.
What if you just want to play the original?
That's fine. I haven't really thought in that sense, because it might be better almost just going in with the base Rebirth, because the other DLCs had a lot, but in the same sense, if you haven't played much of the original, it would probably be a little bit confusing. I can talk about those things anyway.
Yeah. So I have played Binding of Isaac. I used to play it quite a lot. I played the original Flash version, and then played the Rebirth version. Haven't played Afterbirth Plus.
I think so. There's 2 or 3 DLCs at this point. But
haven't played through that, but I have a copy of it for Switch, and I've got it on Steam. I don't believe you've played this.
I've never played it.
Oh, well, there we go.
No, it's a game I've been wanting to play.
Yeah.
There
you go.
It's a twin stick, isn't it? Can you play it twin stick on console?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe so. Basically, it controls. You've got WSD to move, and then arrow keys usually to shoot.
Yeah.
You shoot up, down, left, right.
No chance. I'm going to get a twin stick version.
I think there's actually an item that lets you use a twin stick to shoot in whatever direction you want as well. So
hopefully I can. Yeah, we'll see. I'll have a look on. I'll get it on Xbox or PlayStation or something like that. I'm sure it's on there, isn't it? So I'll get it on there. But yeah, no, I haven't played it. It's just one I've wanted to play. But just kind of, and I do like twin stick shooters. But I just never got around to it.
Yeah, I've played too much of it.
way
too much.
I'll just check. What's your Steam hours on Binding of Isaac?
I have to say.
So my Rebirth hours is 53 hours, which I don't think that sounds like a lot actually. Okay. David's Binding of Isaac Rebirth hours, he's just shown me on his Steam app.
617 hours.
617 hours. That's quite a lot.
You need to play some of the games.
Yeah, it's a very good
I'm joking.
It's a very good kind of just sit down, play a bit, just leave.
Yeah, do a run.
It's if you're waiting for something, you can just kind of sit down and play a bit. And then it's just, although when you start to get later on into the game, the runs can be anywhere between 40 to 60 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my playtime for the original Flash version was 32 hours. I thought it would be more than that, but yeah, Binding of Isaac. That's the next game that we'll be playing. You can play along. Email us your comments and questions on The Binding of Isaac to shouldplaypodcast@gmail.com with the subject Isaac. Or even if you've got general feedback on the podcast, we'd love to hear from you and might read it out as we have done in this episode.
Thank you for the comments.
Yeah. So if you're passionate about game design and love the podcast as much as Mr. X loves a fedora, don't forget to subscribe, like it, leave us a nice review, share on social media, tell your friends. We are at Should Play Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads and YouTube. Join the conversation and suggest games that you'd like us to feature in future episodes. That's all there is for us to say for this episode. And hang on, I've probably fussed that a bit. Hang on. But yeah, all that's left for us to say is thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.